Hey guys, it's Landon with RH, Redefined Horizons. This is another video in the set of videos I'm doing on SQLite and using some graphical front ends for SQLite. My other videos were so bad that I decided I'm going to delete them. I had a couple more that were really bad, so I'm going to delete them and redo them. This is going to be a short video. What I want to do in this video is I want to show you how we are going to build a simple database. Okay, and I've got an example database that I'll show you, and then we'll build it together. So this is DB Browser. It's a front end for SQLite. Let's go ahead and open the database that I built so you guys can see what it'll look like when we're done. And it's just SQLite is like Microsoft Access, so this is just a file that lives on your desktop, just like a Microsoft Access file. So it's just like an MDB file, only it's a .db. So I'm going to open it. So this is a database that I built so that we could track our job summaries for marketing purposes. So you can see here, it gives you kind of a table view. I'm sorry, not a table view, an explorer view of your database structure. That's the tab we're on here. So you can see I have these tables. This is for a plugin. But these are our three main tables: clients, job summaries, job summary tags. And it's got views, triggers, and indices here. I'm not going to talk about those in this video. We'll do some other videos on that. And if you want, you can come over here and you can look at the data in your tables. So it'll show you all the columns in the table and the rows with the data. You can see I've got some example data in here. And then if you want, you can come over here and run queries. Okay, so that's what we're gonna try and build something that looks like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna just make a new database. All right, and I'm gonna call this the same name, but I'm gonna call it example. And we're not gonna build everything. We'll just do the first table just so you guys can see how it works. So of course it knows that we've got an empty database now, so it immediately opens up the defined table, edit table definition, because it knows we need a table. Okay, so let me just cancel that and show you if you were going to do it. You can just come over here under the database structure tab and hit create table. Pulls up the same dialog, and we're going to call this one clients. And then down here we can add our fields. So we're going to add a field, and we're going to call it client name. And then we'll, something happened there. And then we'll make this a text field. And we'll call this client type. And we'll make that a text field. And then I always like to add a unique ID, so we'll say unique identifier, and that can be an integer. Now, because this is my primary key, I'm going to say it has to be the primary key, okay, not null. And you can see as we do this, it's actually building the little SQL command down here that it's going to send to SQLite to create the table. So DB Browser is just a front end. It's just a graphical user interface. It's going to actually probably use Python to send this SQL command to SQLite. It's embedded in DB Browser to actually create the table in the database. All right, let me think about what else I wanted in here. Client type, client name, unique identifier. You know, we could put the address in here. I don't know that we need. I don't know that I'm going to need that though. Or contact type. We really don't need that for a marketing summary database. This might be it. This might be all I need. Tell you what, let me pause the video. I'm going to go open the database and see if I'm forgetting anything that the database we built. All right, yeah, so I did have a couple more fields to add. So we're going to add one called short description, so we can give the client a description if we want. I'm not going to require that, so I'm going to allow nulls. We'll add another one. We're just going to call this for notes. This is notes that the data entry person might want to make. We're going to make both of these text. Now you'll notice that DB Browser and SQLite don't have a date type or Boolean type. So if you're used to other database systems or programming languages, you might miss that. Date you just do a text and then you use a standard format like the ISO format. And Booleans are usually done with an integer as a 0 or 1. Okay. I think that's all we want here. Don't need anything under the Advanced tab, so we can just hit OK. And now we have our table created. You can see it here in the Explorer view. So we're going to go in. Now, let's just say you goof something up, you wanted to modify your table definition, you can do that here. We'll save it. It'll pull this back up and you can make changes. All right, but what if we want to enter some data? You can come over here to the Browse Data tab, and you can see, we'll pick the clients table here. Here's our table. Now there's no data yet. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to insert a row. So this button right here, insert a new record. And then we can click on these. So client type, we can say, let's say local government agency maybe is one of our types. And client name, oh, you know what? I didn't, I want to edit that record now. Hang on, I goofed up. So if you come over here, you see this edit database cell. And it'll let me edit this now. So we'll say this is Tuolumne County. That's a client we work for. Hit apply, pops in there. The unique identifier is automatically assigned. Short description. So we can say a Sierra Nevada Foothills County Government in California. All right, and then if we want, apply, sorry. Then if we want something for the note, we can say data entered by SLB. Those are my initials. Okay, so now we've got our data in here. And we could add another row if we wanted. All right, pretty simple. Let me think for a minute. Let's say we wanted the client type to be limited to a certain list of values. We can do that by making it a foreign key. Okay, so let me go back and show you how to do that real quick. So we're going to go under database structure. We've got our table here, and we're going to modify the table with it highlighted. And we want to make a client type a foreign key. So to do that, we're going to come over to foreign keys, and we're going to add, oh, you know what? I need to add what they call my valid value table first. Sorry, let's add our valid value table. So that's the table that contains the values you want to be used in the foreign key field. So we have valid value table, and then I'm going to say client types. Okay, and we're going to add a field. We're just going to have one field called value, and it's going to be a text field. We're going to say it has to be not null. We'll hit OK. All right, now I've got that table. So let's go ahead and put some values in there. So we're going to insert a record. Oh, here we go. Let's call it a county government. Okay, and then let's add one more. And we're going to say state government. And we'll do one more, just so you guys can see how it works. We'll say this one's special district. Oop. Okay, so now we've got some values in our value table, and so we want to make a foreign key in our other table. I don't know why that won't move over. It's being a little difficult for me. We want to make this client type column or field a foreign key that links to this valid value table now. All right, and I should have made that all caps, guys. I'm sorry. To stick to my naming convention. It's not going to let me do it. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go in here and set up our foreign key again. We're going to modify table. So now we're going to make this a foreign key. So we're going to come over to foreign key. We're going to add a new foreign key. The column in our table that's going to be the foreign key is client type. Okay, and the name is just what do we want to name it? I'm going to call it FK client type. Okay, and what does it reference? We're going to have it reference the valid value table we created, the value field, and I don't know why you got to click over here to get that to it's just a little bug. Okay, so now you can see our SQL is creating this constraint that's a foreign key. We'll say okay. Now it's a foreign key. Okay, now that isn't exposed in the user interface. I don't believe in see what I was hoping is when you go to create a new value and add a new record, I was hoping I would get a drop down here, but we don't. Let's see if we just save it. Oh, so it's going to make me, yeah. So see, it doesn't have a good drop down. Hang on one sec. All right, so what you can see there, though, is it won't let you add a value that's not in the table. But it'd be nice if we had a drop down. Okay, as far as I know, that functionality isn't in DB browser for SQLite, but it is in SQLite Studio, which I'm going to do some other videos on. So let's see. I can show you one here. Let's see. Job summaries. Do I have a foreign key in here? Yeah, so client is a foreign key. So if we look at this table, you can see if we add a new record here, and then we go to client, I get a drop-down list that's pulling out of that valid value table. Okay, so this in SQLite Studio, the GUI gives you a drop-down list based on the valid value table. So I'm trying to keep this under 12 minutes. Thanks for watching. We'll do some more of these videos.